And Pittsburgh had the lead at the half. They have had some rough second halves at home this season, none rougher than this. Here, Rodgers trying to find some clear airspace, gets absolutely buried by Joey Bosa. Christian Bedford the scoop and score. And Rodgers, who's got the broken, fractured wrist, is now bloodied. And then it's all the run game. A lot of it was Cook. Here you see Allen for the 76th time in his career. That's a new quarterback, a rushing touchdown record. Here's Rodgers asked afterward, how do you improve the passing game?
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up. And when I check through a route, you do the right route. Players need to take accountability, myself included, and I will continue to. And we're going to have a Monday to Saturday that we can be really proud of, our best Monday to Saturday, and go out and play our best game and take control of the division.
So you look at the AFC playoff picture, and last night's win in Washington for Denver by 1 in overtime has them at 10-2. Obviously, the 10-2 Patriots with a victory tonight would leap ahead of them. And in terms of the wild card and division leaders, you see where things are in the hunt on the right-hand side. You have Houston, and that's with an arrow pointed up. Their defense is rolling. And then there's Pittsburgh at 6-6, a gigantic game coming with Baltimore this week. And fellas, last night I said on SportsCenter, my affinity for Mike Tomlin has been well established through the years. So I will openly admit to having a blind spot for the man, but I'm not deaf. And you would have to be to miss the sound in that stadium as people are chanting, "Fire Tomlin." And they've lived in this space, RC, where they've never been bad underneath him, but it's been a while since they've been truly great with a chance. And now with a quarterback on a one-year rental, seemingly, I just wonder where this situation in Pittsburgh is headed with the clear understanding that they could still make the playoffs again.
The first thing is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in championship purgatory, which is a place that this organization doesn't have any familiarity with and doesn't like. And then outside of that, Coach Tomlin has been there long enough, and he's been good long enough where this went from a team that would physically dominate you. And we had a quarterback who got his nose broken breaking a tackle from Haloti Ngata in the pocket to now being physically dominated by the Buffalo Bills, who disrespectfully ran the same play over and over and over and dared you to stop it. And their quarterback disrespected your captain. And later on in the game, he scores a touchdown where they push him in the end zone over 6 defenders. That's who this team is. This team played a soft football game. Not saying they're soft humans, a soft football game. And for the first time, I've argued with people on social media. I've consistently said that Mike Tomlin is unfireable, which I still say. For the first time, I understood the chants. I understood the negativity around him. He doesn't have a grasp on this locker room to where they are now playing for him like they used to. And I believe that's a huge problem.
Swag, if you get bullied like that, is there a remedy? I mean, it's December, man. You don't just wake up and become a new football team, do you?
I don't get bullied, Scott. I'm the bully. I don't know how that feels.
Hell no, not in that coach.
No, to your point, though, I think what's so surprising is that there's so many guys that have played at such a high level in the way that they look. The T.J. Watts of the world, the Cam Haywards of the world. Like, these dudes have played elite football. They've been regarded as some of the best defenders in this league for a long period of time. And to see them seemingly just say, we can't do anything about what's happening to us, was the biggest perplexing thing. And I get to talk about the message may be stale and all of that. But the biggest indictment on Mike Tomlin is when your quarterback sit in a presser and say people ain't showing up for meetings. So the one thing we know about Mike Tomlin is the leadership. So it's something fractured in this football team beyond playing bad on the field.
The standard is the standard, can't just be something you say.
And obviously the standard ain't the standard right now.
Yeah.
And it showed on the field when you can't stop a team from running the football. And here's the thing, to your point, RC, if it's schematically, we can go back to the building and we can say, guys, listen, they just out-leveraged us. We had some issues. We had a couple guys that didn't fit runs right. Bro, these dudes getting moved. I don't know the last time I've seen a Pittsburgh Steelers defense just get moved off their spot. And that's something big to us as defensive linemen. That should not happen, where you get out-physical for the duration of the game without something being adjusted. Something is fractured in this football team beyond playing games.
Jason, we were having the conversation on the bus about the idea of voices. In Philly, obviously, everyone points to Reed. And here's a guy that had been there a long time, had been successful, and they decided, all right, we got to go in a different direction. That's one of those rare things that work for both sides. But the idea of a voice being heard for so long, he's the longest tenured coach in the National Football League. I'm curious how that lands with you, just the idea of if it becomes time for a different voice or if that's just a cliche.
Well, everybody has their time, right? Eventually, everybody's going to be moved on from a job. And whether this is the time for Mike Tomlin, only the people in that building really know. Obviously, there's a lot of noise right now from the outside. The expectations were very high coming into the season, and they've been there. And it's been a lot of mediocrity in Pittsburgh for a number of years. And the fans have obviously had enough of that. I'm sure Coach Tomlin has had enough of that. I think it starts to get to a point where a change has to be made. And whether that's now, again, only the people that are in that building every day know if that message is running stale. And it worked out for Andy Reid very well.
Sure.
You know, this is one thing we know. We know Mike Tomlin is a great coach.
Yep.
Right? That is one fact. Another fact is that it always comes to an end for some coaches.
Well, another
Bill
thing,
Belichick coached here. You thought he'd be here forever.
Scott, you can't win in this league without a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period. That's like we talking about the defense and the news of the day.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Pittsburgh not having a quarterback the last 7 years in the NFL, trying to find that answer. We sitting in the stadium right now where a team looked like they was in purgatory.
Yep.
Seemingly they found their quarterback. All right, we all know this. We all know that Mike Tomlin can coach football.
Sure.
You could coach your ass off, but I guarantee you look up in here in these banners or you look at these names, if Tom Brady's name wasn't up there, Bill Belichick's wouldn't be up there. If Phil Jackson's ass ain't up there, it wouldn't be Michael Jordan. It's no coincidence. So again, we got a lot of problems that have set in from being in quarterback purgatory for so long in Pittsburgh.
RC said it well, and you know it from having been there. It's a championship town, right? It's about championships. The last 6 times they played playoff games, it's been a one and done, and they're stuck in that spot.
And I know we got to go, Mark. I apologize, but Coach Tomlin, for the first time, also said, there's a lot of things he ignores and he doesn't answer.
He acknowledged it yesterday.
Yesterday he acknowledged it. He said, I share their frustration. He also knows that the product on the field is below the line.
Yep.
I know if Pittsburgh gets tired of him, there'll be a team out there that would love to. They would love to be what you're sick of being. I guarantee. Now his first year at the helm, and they are clearly turning things around. More wins than the previous 2 seasons combined. And it is the second year for Drake May, who is the NFL's leader, both in completion percentage and passing yards. He's on pace to be the first to do that since Drew Brees. That's pretty good company. The schedule, yes, you must acknowledge the fact that they have played the easiest schedule in the NFL by far. Opponents' records add up to 40 games under 500, the theme of which continues tonight, at least in theory, against a 2-10 Giant team. But this is a Giant team that, as we know, has played a whole lot better than its record. They've had double-digit leads 5 different times that have slipped away. Yeah. You add it all up, and as the calendar turns to December with Thanksgiving in the rear view, New England has an opportunity to not just be a playoff team, but to be the AFC's 1 seed again for the first time since 2017. A win tonight, though, paramount, as they would stay just ahead of Denver, who continues to win close games as they did last night outside of Washington. If they were to lose tonight, those chances drop to just over 25%.